It being 7:06, I will call the select board meeting for Wednesday, February 25th, 2026 to order. First on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, of America, which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There's a three different,
cadence. All right, next on the agenda is the review of meeting minutes for, I think we tabled
comment.
January.
public comment.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Is anyone here for public comment? No? Okay. Sorry about that. Next on the agenda is the review of meeting minutes for January 21st and February 11th. Thought we tabled January 21st, so sorry if that's duplicate. Still not sure.
I believe, was it Mr. Conley? Did you
Yeah.
request for the minutes to be tabled?
For January 21st.
What
I,
I
we
had
have,
asked was for us to have a discussion about, in executive session, about the executive session minutes.
oh, okay. Okay,
It was my recollection that there was a little bit more discussion by the board on one of the issues, and I wanted to see if the
Oh.
board's recollection.
okay, I remember that now. Thank you, sorry about that. All right, so we did approve the open meeting minutes, excuse me, for January 21st, so it's just February 11th, 2026.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the February 11th, 2026 meeting minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? We've roll call for vote, so Mary, would you like to start?
Yes. Mary Dicko, aye.
Matt Kobesai.
Julie Bruce, aye.
Sean Kerrigan, aye.
Bill Conley, aye.
5-0. The next on the agenda is the Class 2 Motor Vehicle Dealer's License Public Hearing for 865 Main Street. I understand that there's still a few things to take care of for that, so we're tabling that issue. Same with the next issue for Commercial Garage License Public Hearing for 1042 Main Street, Bay Number 3. Again, there's some outstanding issues, so we are tabling that as well for a future meeting. Next on the agenda is Ed Burns and Tara Fawfard from, regarding the employee health insurance renewal proposal.
Madam Chair, I don't see them here. I think after our last meeting, I thought it was our understanding that they were going to try to attend the meeting tonight, but I don't see them here, so I can take up this matter. I can brief the board on where we're at on this, so. As we've been discussing with the board, the employee health renewal, the Insurance Advisory Committee has been meeting, discussing this, which has a representative for all the union groups and a retiree representative, which is former Fire Chief Richard Hart, appointed by the Mass Retirees Association. So the renewal that I briefed the board at the last meeting came in from Blue Cross at 0% premium without GLP-1 weight loss drugs. With adding the medication in, the renewal would be 2.7%. So the committee had recommended to go with the 0% premium renewal with the recommendation that the town participate in Blue Cross program named Teladoc. That would be for anyone, it's a voluntary program that if people that are on weight loss drugs, they can participate in this program where they would buy the drugs directly through them under a bulk rate, bulk purchase, but that the town would provide coaching at $70 per participant per month in year one, and it goes down to $37 for year two. So that was their recommendation, to go with 0% with the Teladoc counseling. By the beginning of March next week, Blue Cross just needs to know whether the town is going to do the GLP-1 or not. That's all we're looking for a decision. There are some other recommendations that I'll go into now. Those are coming from the committee, asking for the board to review. Those, we can have time to pursue, or if you wanted Ed to come out to explain them further, we can certainly do that as well, too. But the next recommendation comes with the tiered rating. So currently, we only offer an individual rate and a family rate. So the committee asked the consultants to look at doing a individual plus one. Instead of if you are just a two-person family, you're required to get the full family rate. So by looking at that, and I think the first page in your packet is the recommendations. The next handout was the renewal of the 0%, which is what the committee was recommending. And the third, I'm sorry, that was the retiree. So the fourth page would be that tiering, the tiering information. So it showed that there would be a large savings per year for somebody going from a family plan to that individual plus one. However, then the family rate would absorb all of that increase. So the policy, which is somewhere around, with town and employee share, is around $9 million. And however that breaks out, we still need to pay $9 million to Blue Cross for the policy. So if individual plus one rate is going to be lower than another tier, then it's got to be made up somewhere else. So the bulk of that went into the individual rate stayed the same. So it was shifting costs from lowering the family rate for the individual plus one, but then it was increasing the rate of people that had the full family. So the people in the full family rate would have paid much more participants or policy subscribers were in that tier that would have paid more than the number of people that would have saved. So the committee had recommended not to go forward with that recommendation. So that's something they did look at and wanted to pursue and maybe continue to look at those rates in the future, but they are not recommending that. So just wanted to do an FYI on that. The next recommendation came from a qualified high deductible health plan to ask that that would be an option. It would be, again, it's voluntary. It would be another option for employees that they would get into this high deductible plan. That is the last handout, which is the thick handout, which just discusses that plan. So it would provide a lower monthly premium for the subscriber, whether individual or family. However, it would come with a lot higher deductibles and thresholds that you have to meet. So up into the, like say a full family plan would be $4,000. So you would have to pay $4,000 out of pocket before the policy would kick in. Even after that, you wouldn't pay any further deductibles, but you would continue to pay prescription drugs. But it does lower the premium for the subscriber if you don't have a lot of medical bills, and it would lower the cost for the town. So the recommendation from the consultant and the committee is to have that as an offering to the plan with the proviso that the town would contribute up to half of the contribution that you can put into a health savings account. So along with the high deductible plan, it would be offered with a health savings account as well, so that you could put money into that tax-free in the event that you needed medical services in the future. So the theory is if you are saving on your premium, you would put that into your health savings account. So then in the future, if you did have an event where you needed more health insurance monies, that there would be some funding in there. So for an incentive to people to go this route, the consultant is saying the first couple of years, you're probably not going to get participation unless the town helps out with a contribution. So a family deductible maximum is $4,000. Going to this plan would be a savings of more than $2,000 in premium. So the recommendation is to take that money of the town savings and put it into the subscriber's account to get that started. So that would be a 3-year plan that the employee group was recommending, if we go with this, to do a 3-year where the town would help kind of fund that to get people to get comfortable with it, help them build up their account, and then after that, they would be on their own after that. So it wouldn't cost the town any more at the beginning by doing that, because the savings that we're seeing, the savings would go into that account. And then if an employee has that money in the account and they leave, that money would go with them. If they switch back to the premium-based in the future, they would still have that money. Could only be used for medical expenses, but they could use that in the future if need be. So the committee was recommending to make that as an offering, and with that, in order to do a lot of marketing, but also as an incentive with the town contribution. So the family plan maximum would be $4,000. The individual maximum is $900. So they're asking that the town for 3 years contribute half of that deductible into the HSA to go forward with that. And then the last recommendation had to do with retirees. So that's something the last 2 years, Chief Hart, as a retiree representative, has been putting forward to the committee for review, is that currently the town share of contribution for actives, it's 70-30. The town pays 70%, but for retirees, it's 60-40. Town only pays 60%. So Chief Hart asked the committee to review it. The committee discussed it and felt that it was something that they wanted to put forward for the retirees' behalf to, over that 3-year period. So if there's going to be a 3-year deal with the high deductible plan, that would do a 3-year phase-in of the retiree 10%. So the first year would be 5%, 2.5% over the 3-year period to try to phase it into 70-30 like the actives. The cost that the consultant calculated, the cost of that 10% to the town would be picking up $136,000 per year. So I think the committee felt that in this year where the premium is going to be a zero renewal, that they hope that it was something the town would be able to consider, knowing in a year if it was a double-digit increase that the town is going to have to come up with their share. It might be difficult to do, but this year with the 0%, they're hoping that the select board would consider it and phase that in over that $136,000 over a 3-year period. So that's the report. And I don't know if there are any questions. I know I thank the CTA president is here tonight, and I believe there are some representatives from retirees that are here as well too. So if anyone had any questions about the committee or what the discussion was, certainly I'm sure Brendan DeCessa would be happy to answer any questions that the board may have. But the biggest decision is just on the renewal, as I put forward at the last meeting, is to go with the recommendation of 0% premium increase, which would negate any coverage for weight loss drugs other than the counseling service. So that's the only thing. We just need to notify Blue Cross if we're going with that. All the other issues would be internal. If we do a high deductible, it's still going to be the Blue Cross renewal. It's just how much they would have to pay for their share. that's it. I don't know if there are any questions.
This wasn't in our packet, right? We're just seeing this for the
It was not.
Right, it was just coming out tonight. Yeah, the renewal was in your packet the last meeting. So the Blue Cross renewal of 0% renewal, that was in the packet from last meeting. This one here, it's just the info on the high deductible, the cost of the 70/30 and the high deductible plan information. Yep. So that was just, I was, again, hoping to have more of an in-depth presentation from the consultant, but all that information was just given tonight. So I understand, certainly, if, not to be in a position to have to take a position on that. It was just the renewal, it's the only one that we're looking for a decision tonight.
If anyone was to have questions, would they be directed to the Human Resources Manager?
Yep, Ray has been involved in all those meetings, so he certainly can answer, anything that people might have. There certainly, we would be doing information sessions on the high deductible. So if we went that route on the high deductible, because it is a big leap, and I think we've been discussing it for 2 years. And the concern is that we just want to make sure the information is out there to the employees if they make that decision. And they go for the lower premium, which is great, but then if they have a health event, it's going to, may impact them for what they weren't expecting. So we want to make sure that it's very upfront, that people are aware of it, they know about it, they've researched it, and if they want to give it a try, it's with full knowledge and full information. So, yep. So either they could call Human Resources, call my office. The unions will have all this information as well that they're going to distribute to their employees, and there will be information sessions that people can come to and get more questions answered. So.
So what you're looking for us to approve the, what? Yeah.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the recommendation made by the Clinton IAC to renew the health insurance policy with 0% premium increase from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts, proposal for fiscal year 2027.
I'll second it.
Yep. And would that include the teledoc counseling?
Need to in this motion, or?
You would want it to be one motion?
Oh, you could do that separately, sure, if you want.
I
Yeah.
guess I'm confused, because you're asking us to approve, I guess, what we thought was number one, but now you're asking us to approve 1 and 2 tonight?
So so my understanding is if we approve the 0% increase, then
It's contingent on us.
or just as a not a compromise, but kind of where we're not covering the GLP-1, then this short-term counseling would be a service that's provided for 2 years, right? As
Yeah, so it's not really a difference, it's just a verification of what happens, what transpires. That's all it's
Yes.
really.
Yeah, and I guess in the end, I mean, the 0% would be the assumption that weight loss drugs wouldn't be covered. So that's mostly what we were looking for a decision. And if they're not covered, then it would be, the second decision would be whether you'd want to provide the counseling. So, yep, so if you wanted to wait on that, that's fine too.
do we have a number on how, roughly on how many individuals this would impact?
Yeah, we
Or
do.
apply to.
Yeah, we do have, it's increasing, the number is increasing, and they do say, I don't know if I have that with me, but, and the consultant did indicate that that this number won't be the amount of people that would take part in the counseling. So if they have to do counseling and case management, that a lot of people will not participate at that point. But
I mean, could we, is there, could it be, is it 50 people? Is it 100 people?
Right, yeah, I'm just looking here to see that number. So. Yeah, I think it was somewhere in like the 60, I think 68. So.
So it would still be a cost savings compared to if we chose the other route, which was it 3%?
Right.
Percent
it's a
increase?
3% increase, which I think
Oh, you're getting
amounted up to about 257,000.
Which is a
So,
bad deal.
so it's still, in the long run, it's still cheaper. It's a more cost-efficient option
It-
to approve the counseling versus selecting the 3%.
Yeah, very much, very much cheaper than that, not even close to what that cost would be, yeah. Yeah, so I think it was 257,000 for the 3% increase in order to cover them. And this was, just trying to see.
I mean, even at 100 people, it's
the
$7,000,
total
right?
number, I think it was somewhere in like 68.
Say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay, so I got you. So $96,000 per year if
Yeah,
if
like I said,
100 people,
I had 68 and 57.
yeah. I mean, I would recommend that if we just vote on number one, and then if we want to have additional discussion on number two, we can do that.
Yeah, we can get some exact numbers for you. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
you just don't want
I mean, based on
to,
current.
just kind of reading it while you're talking and. it's
Yeah,
just not-
sure, based on the current subscribers that we have.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, we just see every couple of months, there are more and more people that are joining. So I think in the end of last year, over a 2-month period, there were 4 claimants. From July to October, there were 5. From October to December, there were 4 more. So we see more and more people that are joining when it's fully covered, when it's not going to be covered, or if it's a counseling program and they have to buy the medications directly themselves, then that number is going to decrease. So.
Right. So Mary, do you second that?
I did.
Any discussion? Roll call. Bill, would you like to start?
Bill Conley, aye. Sean Kerrigan, aye.
Julie Bruce, aye.
Matt Kovasai,
Mary Dick, aye.
So let's just take a look at it. Sure, it looks good, but it just feels like the responsible thing to do to dig into this and answer any questions that we have.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can, I don't know if there's somebody, did you want to speak?
Were we included in that? The retirees? No. No. I just wondered if there was a motion for the retiree.
We just saw that at 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
we're just seeing this for the first time tonight. So we're just trying to be responsible and actually read it before we approve it. Yeah. So apologies if you came out for
It
that.
would be much easier too if the consultant was here.
That
Because
too.
they're, I mean, Michael did a
Agreed.
great job filling in for them, but,
I'm disappointed in this health consultant. I've been president over the years and negotiated and dealt with this health consultant before. And they always seem to not give us the best service. It's like when push comes to shove and we need them to show up. Where are they? We all gave up our time tonight because
I
we
don't-
thought. this
Yeah,
was gonna be-
and I don't know why, I don't know what, if it was just, I don't know, is a fault on our side or their side? I don't know the answer to that.
yeah, no, at that last committee, we discussed bringing this information to the board, and I asked if they would be able to participate in that, so we talked about the last committee, so I just, assumed they've been coming to all the committee meetings,
And they knew the date of this meeting at that committee meeting?
we talked about the date of this meeting, yep.
Valid feedback.
For as long as I can remember.
I'm sorry,
retirees-
if anyone else would like to speak, can you come up, because there's a microphone here, and no one at home can hear you if you're sitting back there. So if you want to come up,
All
then
right.
happy to hear you. Happy to hear you, we just, the people at home just hear me and the rest of the group speaking. They can't hear the
Do I
commentary.
sit here?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Just
Well,
introduce yourself.
Say your
I'm Marlene
name.
O'Laughlin, and I'm a retiree of the Clinton Public School System. I've always wondered why retirees pay more in their insurance than the active teachers. It never made sense to me that teachers on a limited income are paying more for what everybody should, be getting. And so I urge you all to take a look at the retiree town paying a little more so that it's fair. Right now, it's not fair. It would be the right thing to do. My other question is the weight loss drug. It's not just a weight loss drug. There are people with other comorbidities, and that drug may help many more people than just weight loss. So consider that as well before you make a decision on that.
And my understanding on that was if they have other medical conditions, that drug is covered. It's just not covered for the sole purpose of
Weight loss.
weight
Okay,
loss.
okay, that's good to know. All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak? Okay. Oh, come on up. Just state your name.
Hi, Brenda DeSessa, Clinton Teachers Association President. So I'm just friends with a lot of retirees, and at some point, everyone is going to be a retiree. And I am extremely disappointed that Ed and Tara are not here. We expected them to be here. And, the retirees are giving of their time. And I would urge you when, if you could bring this to a vote, or I understand you just got the information. But I sit on the IAC committee. We tried to bring this forward last year. Blue Cross gave us a 24.5% increase. So that really was like a no-go with the split between the active employees, 30/70, and the retirees, 40/60. I've always thought that it was a total injustice to the retirees because the people that earn the least are paying the most. That just seems really unfair to me. I did ask Ed about it at the last IAC meeting, like when this came about. He said it was probably at least 20 years ago. This has been an injustice for a very long time. And I urge you at some point, please, everybody at some point is going to be a retiree, and this is just really unfair to the retirees, that they're paying more. And the IAC committee felt that instead of just, because this is a year of 0% increase, that the town is going to be saving money. It's a great way to sort of, right the wrong that's been happening for a very long time here. So I just urge you when you do vote to vote favorably for the retirees. The IAC committee did feel that instead of just a one-shot deal, we sort of stepped it down over a 3-year period, as Mike just said, 5%, 2.5%, 2.5%, to get to the 70-30 split for retirees.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Madam Chair. And Mike, I don't know, so are we committing to a 3-year plan here? What if we get another 24% bump next year?
Yeah. I know.
3-year plan, I guess. That was the recommendation of the committee.
Right, I think the recommendation was to go 3 years and kind of draft an agreement, if there's agreement on that. And then if there is a, financial event in the subsequent years, and we just would go back to the table and ask to review it again.
Okay.
But their hope was to get a 3-year commitment, so.
So year one would be 5%.
Right.
You know, I think, to Sean's point, if the town was to make, the first step of a 5%, reduction, then, depending on if there's any rate increase the following year, to kind of go year by year. I understand the 3-year commitment piece, but I think, number one, with budgets coming up, I think this is also a larger conversation to have with the finance committee to see what that financial impact is from the budgetary side, to at least have numbers to make the decision on, and then go from there. But I think, over the last 2 years, right, we're looking at 37%, a 37% increase, right? It was 13 the year before, roughly, and 24.
Last year, I was 24.5%. I don't remember what it was the year before.
I think it was for some reason, I think it was in the teens. It was somewhere in the teens. So I think it was about a 37 or 39% increase. But I'm fully supportive of the recommendation. I just think we have to look to see how we implement it.
Do we know what the cost will be for just 1 year? We didn't really,
That's
the
100,
IAC committee doesn't really look at that, the cost.
what do we say, 137?
You said 130, you said 136,000.
Yeah, 136.
Over 3 years.
Right, but no, 136 would
Per
be
year.
the
That's per year.
10%, that 10% difference. So that would be broken up over the 3 years.
Okay.
So we don't know what it would be for the 5%,
It
For
would
the
be
first year.
half that, yeah, half that amount,
half that amount.
yeah.
Okay.
So
that's
still
the
that
whole jump.
137,
Is the whole jump? That's the 10% jump is 137?
Right,
Oh, okay,
Right.
great.
when you're talking $60,000
Yep.
for year one, if it was at 5%, and then.
Right. We will have no idea what insurance is going to do. I mean, it went from 24.5% to 0.
Yeah,
That's
that seems-
unfathomable, really.
Very odd,
Yeah,
very odd
right.
to me.
They make
Like-
a little too much money.
Yeah. I feel very weird.
Well, just to go on the record, I'm not opposed to it either. I do support it, being a retiree myself for a long time. But it doesn't make sense either. I have to agree with that. I have to agree with Maureen said, that retirees are making less money than active employees, but they're paying more money. So, again, the issue is the financial perspective when you're going into the budget process, which we are now. So, I'm supportive of it, but obviously the finance committee has to look at where we are from a financial standpoint as far as being able to put this budget together for town meeting. So,
Do you know when you'll be voting on this? Like, will it be at the next select board or
for,
for the retirees, for this insurance split?
in terms of which board or when?
No, when?
Oh, when, it's really up to when I think the board is comfortable, when they have all the information to make a decision, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak? Okay. We'll move on to the next agenda item. Next up is, the traffic committee report, but the traffic committee was scheduled to meet on Monday, and given that most of that committee is the police chief, fire chief, and DPW, that we postpone that. So we're gonna look to reschedule the traffic committee soon, and hopefully come back with recommendations after that. But the agenda is in our packet. If anyone has any particular concerns, let me know.
Or the recommendations aren't in there though, right?
No, because we were supposed to meet on
Oh, that's true,
Monday,
sure, sure,
thinking
sorry. Yep, yep.
I would come to this meeting with whatever
Yep,
we were
forget it.
proposing.
Nope, you said that. Yep,
Had to delay that.
sorry.
Okay, next up is the town
Thank you.
minute. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Be safe.
Thank you. Yeah, be careful out there. Next up is the town administrator report.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple of things I just wanted to highlight. First off, I wanted to thank all town departments for this previous storm and the whole season. It's been kind of a rough winter season with all the snow. I want to thank Public Works and Facilities, Police, Fire, all of the departments that kind of come together and really put out the effort to keep things clear. The roads have really looked good after each storm, so we appreciate the effort. This past storm, and just wanted to kind of make a public announcement, there was some confusion with the residents about trash collection on Monday due to the storm. And ended up, moving a little bit more than what we thought. We thought we were going to get 20 inches, we got 14. But as a rule, generally, we never hold trash collection in town for storms or other events. If it's something catastrophic, obviously, we would have to look at it. But just so the public would be aware, and we can kind of put more notice out there on the website or more information. We are one of the few towns that continue to run our own municipal collection. So doing that with a recycle week, there are 2 trucks, one doing trash, one doing recycle. So if a day is skipped, then another truck would have to be put on for the subsequent 2 days to make up that route. So that you would have 9 employees that would be tied up for those 2 days that would be collecting trash and recycle at the same time to clearing up from a major storm, plus all the other departmental issues that are going on over there as well. So unless it's truly catastrophic, they've always kept with continuing with that schedule to try to keep up with that. So hopefully, just so the public will know, as if we come up on a snowstorm again, whether it's a Monday or Wednesday or Friday, that they can always expect that trash will be going around their route on their normal route. There's only a change on holidays when the department is shut down, but again, it would cause a lot of operational constraints if we kept every storm trying to modify the trash collection. So,
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
One of the questions that I got from a few people wasn't necessarily the pickup, but the fact that they'd put recycling out and it wouldn't be picked up because it had snow on it, because maybe they put it out the night before. So is there, that seems to be the disconnect in that we want to collect during a storm, but if it has snow on it, we won't collect, and then they're stuck for 2 weeks with recycling.
right, I guess that's where difficult, and I know we ask a lot of the residents, but it's to try to maintain that the bin is accessible. And you're right, I think there were circumstances where people put them out the night before and then they got plowed in. But I think in the past, the department has had employees that have gotten minor injuries from trying to yank them out of the snowbanks and trying to be helpful that way. So I think what they have tried to do is, if it's not accessible, then they would not able to pull it out. So.
But it really could be a
So-
matter of minutes. I mean, like,
Can we go
I've-
over this?
yeah, I mean, I
If
get
it's
it.
required to be out at 6 a.m. I guess this is just a discussion for future discussions, because I don't know what would be considered catastrophic. And given the photo we received, it gave a list of all the reasons why either recycling would be picked up. By the curb by 6 a.m. in a blizzard may have snow on top of it.
we've all been at the bottom of the driveway when we've got it clear and the plow
Yeah.
comes by, and we all understand that's how it works, and you've got another foot you gotta clear. But if you go to work and then it goes by a couple times, I'm not sure how that's the resident's fault if they're doing everything we asked them to, and it just happens to get caught up in our snow removal. Again, I think it's something we need to think
Yeah.
about in the off-season going forward. I mean, it's not easy on anybody, but maybe we can make it easier on
Yeah.
somebody.
And I did before the meeting, which I'll pass along to you, is there was a checklist of why we didn't pick up the trash or the recycling. And some of that information is not on information we have on our website. So like in the 6 a.m. timeframe. So I made some notes because I think I often say like a lot of people are willing to play, follow the rules, but I don't know if the rules are we've clearly laid them out. So I think there's some improvements we can make. Not urgent. I know I was looking at the news before I came and there was, 2 years ago, there was 9 inches of snow. Last year there was 14. Now there's like, I don't know, 40 inches or something. Like we've exponentially grown where in center snowfall this year than we had in the past year. So I think we've kind of gotten in the habit of being like, we don't have a lot of snow, but I guess when it does hit us hard. So.
I just have something to throw out for that discussion at a later date. Is there a possibility of having, extending the pickup hours, like say the day before a storm? So then that way, the next day it's not if it's not picked up during a blizzard, then there's less issues, but maybe they have a longer day the day before. Not sure. I don't know
Sure,
how
I think
feasible
there's
that
a
is.
lot of, I think by experience this, I think there's a lot of good ideas to talk with the DPW director and see if there's a way we could do things better in the future, absolutely, yeah. Because then it would be trying to set a rule that people can expect, so when the
Yeah.
rules change, then we gotta make sure that people know that it's gonna be different, so I think that's where, we have to do our effort to make sure that the public knows when we change something. Yeah.
Agreed.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Yes?
I just want to say that my congratulations and appreciation to the DPW and all the other town employees that worked through the storm. And I think the DPW did an amazing job in a major snowstorm, at the same time doing the recycling and the trash collection. I know they were knocking themselves out. They're out all night sometimes plowing. They do an outstanding job for the town, and I personally appreciate the efforts that they made. I know my recycling got picked up about 7 a.m., and my trash got picked up by a pickup truck going around town because either they needed more people doing it than the trash truck was able to do, or there were other issues. But a pickup truck, a town employee in a town truck came by and picked up the trash, and that was at 6 p.m., all in the middle of dealing with the storm. And I think they provided the town outstanding service, and they have my appreciation for it. And I think maybe just a little bit, we, the people putting the trash out, have an obligation to be a little bit more of a participant and less of a recipient in the services that are being provided during the state of emergency. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate that, just want to make it clear to everyone who's putting out the trash, like what the expectations are. I don't think, there's some mixed messages there from us, but I don't disagree. If they're out in a blizzard picking up trash, then thank you.
Just following up on snow removal, just wanted to again make a notice, public notice that tomorrow night, Thursday night, overnight, the DPW will be clearing the mounds of snow on High Street. So they will be, hoping, cooperation with parking, we'll send out notifications tomorrow, but that they will be doing a snow removal operation tomorrow night. So, and with the, again, following up on Public Works and water bills, and the water bills are going out. And with that, next week, the bills will be going out. And with that, we'll have some inserts on trying to education of asking people to not put grease and fats and oils down the drains, and to refrain from using the wipes, flushable wipes in the toilets. So there will be inserts to try to help with that education, but they have been seeing increased problems with backups and plugs in the sewer system from those two type of uses. So they asked if I would just kind of mention that publicly, and they will have more information in the bills next week.
Can you email that to me and I'll put it out on our social media?
Sure. Great.
Is there a possibility of getting, or at least providing the costs attributed to these, whether they have to clean out or whatever the plug is, because I think that in conversations we've had in the past, whether it's the damage or whether it's having to bring in, we have equipment that we had to purchase last year at town meeting, just to get an idea of what that practice actually costs the taxpayer in town. Because I, from what I remember, it was tens of thousands of dollars alone just for the plug ups from the wipes that are being flushed down and,
Yep, no, okay, definitely, yeah, I'll see if they can come up with that, yep. Thank you. Just wanted to make a note that the town, through Economic Development Office, are working on, they've gotten grants for the fast chargers for electric vehicle incentive program for the charging stations approved here in Clinton. So there will be two high-level charger stations with 3 ports. So there will be for Walnut Street and public access. So Phil Duffy, Mr. Duffy was happy to hear that. So about that award. Just wanted to note 2 other items for the board, that the House or the Joint Committee on Legislative Committee on Ways and Means have asked to come back to Clinton. They were here last year. They really enjoyed using the facility for their budget hearings. They would like to come back again on March 27th in order to meet with their different departments and their agencies for their budget hearings. So I think it was a good thing, ended up being a good day, brought a lot of people into town, showcased the town hall and the town of Clinton, so it was a nice event, so there's no opposition. We'll continue to move forward with that. So I believe the date is March 27th, I believe, yeah, March 27th, and they're generally here all day from like 9 to 5 or 9 to 6.
does that need a motion? Or,
If you want, sure, just to, it's a use of town hall, so sure, certainly, yeah.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the Ways and Means Budget Committee use of the town hall on March 27th.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call for a vote. Mary, would you like to start?
Mary Dickard, aye.
Matt Kovas, aye.
Julie Bruce, aye.
Sean Kerrigan, aye.
Bill Conley, aye.
Thank you. And the final notice, just that the town of Clinton is sponsoring through the Massachusetts Municipal Association. They asked if we would host a legislative breakfast that they do. They do them in the spring and fall. And on March, it's a Friday, March 16th?
That's a Monday.
13th, March 13th. They will, at 8:30 a.m., 8:30 to 10, they'll be doing a legislative breakfast here in Clinton over at the Icon Museum. So we thank them for hosting, and love to see any members that can make it that day. So I think that's mostly what I have for now.
It's another Friday the 13th, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that happens sometimes. Except for leap years. Great, thank you, Michael. Next up is administrative business, the water, sewer, trash abatements.
So Madam Chair, just following up, I know there was a question that the board had at the last meeting, and the Public Works had given me the explanation. I believe that the house was, the person that was at that property had passed away. The house had been abandoned for a while. It went out to, sold at auction, not as a regular sale. And there was a leak there when the new owner took over, and there had been a leak, and it had come up to that large amount of the 7,000, I think, were between water and sewer charges. And then there is a one-time leak abatement, but I think there are 2 meters on that house, or two services at that property. So it was, they indicated that it was a large leak, property owner had passed away, property was purchased at auction. The new owner came in and requested the water be shut off, but the bill had usage from April to October of '25, that bill had gone up to that amount in that period before the new owner had taken over. So they were resetting the account to 0 for the new owner, with charging the flat rate of $189.95, and I believe in other for that period when the new owner took over, that they charged the flat rate to get the account restarted again. So this amount that's being abated was from a previous owner. So that's what they're asking for the board's consideration.
This was 215,000,
Right.
so it was one time, but it had 2 line items?
Right, it was the same incident. It was both at the same, I think there are 2 bills for that property. So they were both, I think, yeah, I don't know if it, I mean, assuming it's probably
Is 189 the flat fee?
yeah.
I was just asking because one-time leak, but it's just listed twice with 2 different amounts, so
Right.
2 times?
Yeah. But I think then they were saying that the bill was 73, with the leak, the bill had gone up to 73,1948. And then when the new owner had taken over, the account had been billed a flat fee bill
Oh, after the.
for the 189.95.
Oh, okay.
So I think these were two charges that were on the account when the new owner had taken over. So that's what they were looking for, that consideration to have the new person start with 0. I mean, normally, if it was a regular sale,
Yeah,
it would have to, the bank would call for a read, and then it would get paid off in the closing documents. But I guess this here was that it got sent to auction because there was no owner there, so.
Did the bank take
yeah.
the home back? Did the bank take the home and put that out to auction?
I'm not sure who did the auction. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure, so. I mean, I guess if you wanted to, just abate the large amount from the leak and then leave the 189.95 on account for payment, towards the of what they would owe for that billing period, for that next bill.
Is that the old owner or the new? Obviously, you don't want to saddle a new person who just bought it with something that they didn't have. I think the point you're trying to make is like, is there proceeds from the auction from the bank?
Yeah, that I don't know, yeah, that I don't.
7,000 is just a lot of money for the stuff.
I mean, I don't know if that would change anything, like if the bank If the property was foreclosed on and the bank took it, no.
No,
It was,
not common from your past life?
The cost is because there was no, so that means the water meter was reading all the water that moved out.
Yeah.
so who was, I guess that,
Who's
like, who's in charge of the property at that point? Was it?
Okay.
So then how did it get auctioned? Like, who,
No.
where does the auction come in? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So we're not getting that back.
So we can find out who conducted the auction. Yeah, I don't know.
I was just thinking from the perspective of if the bank took control of the property, then would they ultimately have, the responsibility of keeping up on it or at least looking at it? And then if nothing was taken care of, then I could see the responsibility versus if the house was kind of just there and then it went through the process, then that's,
I guess I don't know yeah, like, I guess the circumstances are, I don't know, there could be no bank, there's just, could own it outright and just have moved on.
do we want to table?
I know,
That-
kind of like. Yeah, we just tape. Yeah. I guess we're just trying, it's just not like, some of these are smaller amounts, but that one's a big one, but. All right, maybe we can just table it for now. I guess we're just trying to figure out who was responsible for that property during the leak. But not sure if that is
Yeah.
an effort that's worth,
Right, and I think too, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
if there was a leak, now the policy does allow for an abatement, for a one-time abatement for having a leak, water leak that caused a high bill. So that is something that comes in, often through these, as we see, there was some down below, they're one-time abatements for leaks. Unfortunately, they're a lot lower because people are living there and could be a running toilet or pipe they didn't notice until it got higher than the normal bill. But having a house abandoned that nobody was there, seeing the water leaking into the property, now the new owner comes in and was hoping
go
that.
anywhere.
It just seems to me is that it was just an awkward situation
Yeah.
where the person was deceased. Is that what you said, right, Michael?
Right.
Person deceased.
Right.
There's no one there. The leak is there, so it is.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think anyone is looking for a profit. I think it's just a situation that happened. And I think by just
Clearing it.
going another week or whenever it comes up again, I mean, I'd be in favor of just moving it.
Yeah, I just don't think we're gonna get anywhere.
Yeah, I
and
just
it's
think
probably
it's
not
that
worth the effort.
situation that
Yeah,
happened, and
but
I
I thank you for looking into it, because it's a very large amount, and we didn't
Right.
want to just blindly kind of say, thanks.
I'll make a
but-
motion that we approve the request for the abatement.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All right. Mary Rose, you want
Mary
to say?
Dick, aye.
Matt Kovasai?
Julie Bruce, aye.
Sean Kerrigan, aye.
Bill Conley, aye.
5-0.
Thank you.
Yep. Next up on old and new business, American Rescue Plan Act project update.
So I just wanted to, at the last meeting, it just indicated, I wanted to give the board just an update where things were. The number of the projects that are still outstanding were under economic development. So as I gave the board on your table today, the Director of Community Economic Development put together an update on projects that are under his jurisdiction. So other than the ones that he's involved with, the signboards, the downtown coordinator, the Business Recovery Grant, emergency fuel, wheat, and the Strand. The road resurfacing, the DPW has gone out to bid, so hopefully with the good weather, that money will be spent on the next construction season. And the cyber upgrades are just about done on computer, and we're moving into the phone section, and then trying to sort out, at this point, how much has been spent and what's left for the phone project to hopefully cover everything that needs to be done there. So, so the bulk of them were on this memo from the CNED, so. But again, the money would need to be expended by December of 2026. And next week, next month, I'll be putting together a report spending report as to what was spent in 2025. And then the remainder of the projects will have to be done by then. So, so I think that, most of the projects are all moving along and coming to completion. There's a couple that are still being worked on, so.
Yeah, Madam Chairman, if I could, on the Strand Committee, we met a week ago, this past Monday, and we'll be meeting again next week. We're trying to get as much information as we can, because obviously not much progress is being made down there, and it's becoming a short window now. So we hope to, in the future, have a lot more good information to be able to bring back to the board, but we're going to stay on it, and if we have to meet every week, we'll meet every week. The other one, the next issue on the wheat project, I know they did come in December, but it doesn't appear to be that there's any real physical work going on at the site where it was proposed that they were going to build. And I know the raising of the additional money that was needed for the project was really that they had no guarantee, but I would like to see some kind of an updated report as to the status of that project, because, that's $500,000 that potentially we're going to have to give back to the federal government. And honestly, it doesn't appear to me that it's going to happen within the time frame. So I would really like to see an update on that project to see if they have gotten more of a financial commitment to see that become a reality, or if it's just something that's stuck and it's not going anywhere. At least we'll know. Not that we can take the money and put it someplace else, but at least we'll know where we are in that project. That would be my suggestion.
So for the wheat project, was it written very specifically, or is there flexibility in the scope of the project or scope of a project, or?
I think that Mr. Duffy actually has a meeting tomorrow morning with town council to talk about those issues. So I think they're going to review the contract, see what wording is in there and how it is to be applied and what it can and can't be used for. And I know Mr. Duffy's been in touch with United Way, and I think they have a board meeting in March. I think there's one coming up in March that they're going to discuss this at their board meeting and then meet with Mr. Duffy after that for an update. So I'll let him know that the board would like a report on, what happens at that board meeting.
I remember when we were approached about it, and I thought it was basically a fundraising drive. And so the commitment that was asked of the town of Clinton was the $500,000. And, what it ultimately, from the legal perspective, I don't know, but I know that we were asked in the fundraising effort, and we gave the $500,000. So I would be interested myself to see if there were some things that were attached to that as far as the obligation to the town. I don't know. Are you talking about possibly them being able to apply that to other programs that they have, Matt? Is
Yeah,
that what you're-
exactly. Like, is there,
Yeah.
if they're
I mean,
Not
if that's
getting too-
possible, terrific, but I mean,
Yeah.
I just know when we were approached,
Mm-hmm.
it seemed to me is that it was for the new building. So, again, I don't know what ultimately became of the agreement on behalf of the town, so I'd be curious as well to see. And you said Phil is meeting with them in the morning?
With Mr. Gibbons in the
Okay.
morning tomorrow. Yep.
I mean, if it's gonna require a larger fundraising campaign to get closer, then I would, like, I think that's something that we need to determine. You know, we're a vested stakeholder in this, and, to Mary's point, you know, that $500,000, that's a significant, you know, significant, commitment by the town, so
Yeah, all right.
let's get moving.
I guess my
Yeah, I
request would
mean,
be
I-
what, that we would have, if Phil is meeting in the morning with the solicitor, that perhaps we could get an updated version of where we're going from perhaps Mr. Duffy next week.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know if that just gives us some flexibility, and then their meeting on the March 24th. I guess what we're trying to find out is how much flexibility do we have with that allocation? So. We'll wait to hear back from Phil. Okay. Any other questions regarding ARPA? Okay, next up, Town Hall lighting policy review.
I spoke with Brian Farrager just to get an idea of what type of commitment the facilities department would be required to provide in order to you know, to see this through. And Brian had shared, he had no concerns over it being something that's gonna be require a lot of the town's resources per se. You know, one of the things he brought up was, you know, would he have to bring somebody in during off hours? If it required the lighting to change, and, you know, when we talked about it, we both agreed that it could just be done at whatever the next business day. You know, any changes could be made the next business day, whatever that fell on. But he had mentioned that you know, it's pretty easy to change the lights. They're gonna get more familiar with the technology on it. But it was something he was supportive of, and especially having a calendar put forth for the following year, which will alleviate any last minute requests or things of that nature. Everything coming through the select board. So you know, what I had thrown out there as a possible event would be for April, being Autism Awareness Month. So if we could carry this over to the next meeting, I can speak with Brian just about actually trying the lights out, things like that. And then if that's good on his end, then we could discuss the policy itself. But I think the way the policy's written is pretty self-explanatory, and, you know, captures the idea that it's not to pay tribute to any one individual per se, or, you know, any resident per se, but more associations or already state or federal observations that are already in existence. So that's that.
All right, so you're gonna check with Brian, see? I guess I think the only concern I would have would be, or I would just probably like to try out a set schedule for a year to see how it goes and how he feels it's going, and keep it to, like you said, these kind of like civic
Agreed.
first, because I think once people get wind of it, maybe the request will be, like you said, become a little bit more kind of like town hall use request situation, so.
I know he did mention that there was a question on, can it be multicolored? And he said that he believes that the lighting technology does allow for that.
Okay. It could be fun. Okay, next up on the agenda is the 172 Sterling Street RFP committee status.
The Director of Community Economic Development had submitted a memo today for the board as well, just listing the people who have volunteered based on his previous memo to the board on the different categories and positions that he would recommend. And then he had put forward a list of who volunteered for those slots. So it's something, and I guess they're still looking for a citizen representative. So they've sent an advertisement to the newspaper looking to see if somebody in the community would like to serve as well,
Okay.
based on the memo.
So how,
Someone had sent one to us, but, okay.
so how are these names, so these people would have expressed interest in serving?
I had from the very beginning asked if,
Yeah.
be the representative, and I think, I don't know if Phil approached them or they
Right.
approached
Yeah,
Phil.
so you're
but,
asking.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's a very impressive list. I mean, really cross-section of the community.
Yeah, which is great that it touched upon the different fields and experience that people
Right,
have, which
right.
is great. I'm just curious on how the process went as far as if you say hypothetically, if you had multiple commercial bankers reach out, what was the process for narrowing it down? That's all.
Yeah, I can certainly ask him on that. Yeah, I'm not sure if he approached people asking for their input or whether people approached him. I'm not sure.
Right.
Yeah, I'll find that out. Yeah.
Well, I guess my response would be, it's awfully hard to get people to come on committees, believe me.
I agree. I agree.
Because in most cases, they become very time-consuming, so, anytime you can get an impressive list like that.
Seems like it's
Whether
really hard
they-
to get women to serve on these things, too.
I'm sorry?
Seems like it's pretty hard to get women to serve on these things, too.
Right.
And I have zero dispute with your serving on it. That wasn't my, my intent on asking. I was
Oh,
just
I
curious.
wasn't taking it,
Just
I
kinda
wasn't taking it that
how to
way,
get this
not at all. But,
And it makes sense, your chief assessor, there's only one chief assessor, one director from Community Economic Development.
Okay.
well, I mean, it's great to see an environmental person on there where there have been there are a lot of environmental issues on that parcel of property, so
Is he from town?
I have no idea.
Do you want to be on the Conservation Commission?
Well, that's what I was wondering if
Seriously.
that was part of, was someone hired, oh, yeah, someone was hired for that already, correct? For the conservation,
Nope.
Agent.
no.
Oh, we have an agent. We've
Oh,
got,
then
we've
that's
got two
We need
openings on the
committee
board.
members. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Are we-
Well, I'll track him down, don't worry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Someone had emailed me, that's what I was looking for, regarding the citizen representative, so I'll find that and forward that to Phil.
Okay.
All right, next up, donation request for the CHS First Robotics Team. Let's see. All right, they, have their season coming up, competitions, don't know if they have any.
Have they made a request in the past?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't, I think they have made them in the past, but Jolise had put together some numbers from FY '23 forward, and they weren't listed on any of those. So we'll, once this is finalized, we can distribute to the board, but we don't see any list on there for robotics since FY '23. But I'm pretty sure I remember them coming before the
Yeah.
board in the past, but it may have been
Yeah.
several years ago, so it wasn't anything recent.
For the school department, is there a rough number that is typically approved for this, like, any school sport associations?
Not too much. I mean, I think the scholarship fund is $250 that goes to the scholarship, CPS scholarship. That's probably the closest reference, I think. There's After Prom, which is kind of, volunteer, but parent, but that was $500 for that and $250 for the scholarship every year. So somewhere in that range,
I mean, I'll make a motion to approve a $250 donation to the
Robotics,
US
yeah.
First Robotics.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Madam Chair, just in support,
Yeah.
showing my age, I was at the item 92 when they had the first one of these, and I think I still have the plaque they made me an honorary member. I'm thrilled that they have kept us going for so long. And they really are a model for public-private partnership with Nitro and now Jabil. And I think it's great what they do, so I'm happy to support this.
Just to add on to that,
Yeah.
Seeing at the school, whether it's on the weekends or late at night, the students and the faculty and then the community volunteers for it, they're constantly working and truly vested, and it's phenomenal to see.
Indeed.
All right. We'll roll call to vote. Mary, do you want to start?
Yeah, Mary Dick out, aye.
Matt Kovasai.
Julie Bruce, aye.
Sean Kerrigan, aye.
Bill Conley, aye.
All right, great. Good luck on your competition season. Next up, town mileage reimbursement rate to reflect IRS guidelines.
So just a little background, again, this isn't pressing, but just to put it up for the board's consideration, if, to something to review. The town accountant was just asking if the board would consider kind of going with the standard IRS guideline for mileage reimbursement, just to try to make it standard so that when departments are submitting bills, that it's all kind of the same. The select board sets the mileage rate. We've always been below the IRS rate. I think the schools get to set their rate, the school committee, and then the select board sets the town side. And for a number of years, they were the same. Now they seem to be different, but it's still not the IRS rate. So I think the town accountant looked for some guidance from the auditors, and they suggested, a lot of entities just use the IRS rate. So there's the IRS rate, there's a town rate, there's a school rate. So I think the town accountant just asked if the board would maybe consider in the future looking at standardizing that. I think the school, I don't know if they've done it yet, I think the school business manager was going to speak with the superintendent and the school committee about them using the IRS rate now at the school as well too. So I'm not sure if they voted it yet. But,
What is the IRS rate?
I believe the current rate is 72.5.
And what are we giving?
Yeah.
What are we giving?
That I would have to double check. We haven't changed it in a number of years, so I don't know.
I feel like we did 57 cents.
Right. For some reason in my head, I had 58 cents was
Yeah.
in my head. That I'd have to double check that, but I think it was like 58 cents and the IRS rate is 72 cents. So,
Yeah,
Bill, have they adopted it with the school committee yet, or?
if he didn't, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if he,
Bill, do you know what
Bill,
the
do you-
school committee is giving?
To my recollection, it hasn't been discussed.
Okay.
and I know in the past that there were, when we had the inspectors that were using their own vehicles, They were putting kind of daily rate in, but now with the purchase of those departmental vehicles, now it's not much of an issue. It's more of somebody using their vehicle to go to a conference or out-of-town meeting or something like that. So it's not that daily use as we had in the past.
So here, just looking at this, it looks like the historical rate for the IRS in 2022 was 58.5 cents.
So I think that's probably what we did
And I
back then.
think, yeah,
Right.
and I think just for keeping, for staying consistent with the IRS guidelines, that if it's 72 cents now, I would be in support of what, updating that, so I'm,
You want to make an motion?
yeah, I'll make a motion, make a motion to, update the town mileage reimbursement rate to reflect the IRS guidelines for 2026 of
That's
72.5 cents.
I'll second that. Oh, don't.
Okay, any discussion? All right, roll call to vote. Mary, do you want to start?
Mary Dick, aye.
Matt Kovasai.
Julie Bruce, aye.
Sean Kerrigan, aye.
Bill Conley, aye.
Okay, 5-0. All right, Fire Chief Reserve Fund transfer. Fire Chief Lutz is requesting a transfer from the reserve fund in the amount of $30,000 into the department's miscellaneous line item to cover expenses for the remainder of the fiscal year. Information enclosed.
Yeah, so I think the chief had just submitted an email message with that request. With the purchase of his service, his policies and procedure service, that he was hoping he could use the previous fiscal year money, but it didn't get in place until after July 1, so he couldn't use that. So now it kind of took a lot out of his budget. He needed some additional devices to go with the new CAD system for dispatch. And I think he's the last 2 years, he's been running short at the end of the year. He's been getting transfers. So I think now this will, with that Lexipol service, I think it's really going to put him behind for the rest of the fiscal year. So he's asking for 30,000 to try to get him as close as he can to June. So
I'll move, Madam Chairman, that we give him the authorization
Second.
of the 30,000.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Okay, Mary, you want to start roll call?
Yep, Mary Dick, aye.
Matt Kovasai.
Julie Bruce, aye.
Sean Kerrigan, aye.
Bill Conley, aye.
Okay, 5-0. Next up is the Spring Street light request. Residents of Spring Street made a request that a street light be installed on their street. They indicated that stretch of road is very dark at night.
Madam Chairman?
Uh-huh.
I did go up there and I went during the day and there are 2 poles. And I went up at night and there is no street light on the street. There's one on Winter Street, but it's facing out on Winter Street. And there's one on John Street that's facing towards John Street. And the road is completely dark. So, I mean, in all the years I've been here, I think there's never been more than 7 or 8 requests in all those years. So I would move that we would go with the request and have a street light installed on Spring Street.
I'll second that.
So the process for this is to just ask for one? Like, does it not, in looking at other towns, it's like reviewed for safety, why are they looking for
Well,
it?
we did all that. We had a study and we years ago, we did that and took lights out on certain streets, put lights in on certain streets. So that's why there's been minimal numbers of requests that have come before the Board of Selectmen.
Okay, so when-
And,
Yeah, 'cause I'm asking because when I just joined, I had some people approach me about streetlights on their street because their developer had promised them and then didn't follow through. So I guess I'm thinking holistically, like if they're interested, like how much is a streetlight? What is this cost?
I don't really,
I'm not saying I'm against it, I'm just saying
Yeah.
that
Yeah, we
In
did a study,
recent-
was there a reason why Spring Street wasn't
Didn't
on
get
there?
one?
Well, I think it was only recently, I think there, at one time, there was a street light there, and then it was removed. I mean, the pole is there, I mean, so it's not like the Mass Electric has to put a pole there, the pole is there, it's only installing a light.
Oh, I get it, but I'm just wondering why the light, if we did
Yeah.
a survey of where we need streetlights, they didn't get one for some reason. Was there a reason?
Or, like,
I
or
know,
is
that
this
was
one
before I
broken?
started here, that was done before,
Yeah, I mean,
before
that
my
was- this
time,
is-
yeah,
yeah.
so.
You made it sound like it was like
Yeah,
a few years
recent.
ago,
Oh, no, 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 I'm saying the study we did was years ago, and they,
30 years ago.
yeah,
Okay.
I didn't think I was implying that, but anyway.
Well, no, 30 years is a long time. Okay.
I think with Spring Street as compared to Prescott Place, Prescott Place was that's where the developer, it was under the developer, it was a private section,
It's actually not,
right?
not the one I'm talking about.
No, I know that was one that I remember, and then Nathan Heights, I think, was another one where the developers didn't follow through on what they were supposed to do, and I think the town had already accepted the roads. But I think I'm going through this before, I recall, anytime that, National Grid would replace a pole, if there was a light on it, they would tape the light to the pole, and then sometimes, if the light wasn't taped, the light never went back up. And in speaking with Mr. Boudry, I believe the town buys X number of lights and then installs. So I think if the town has these in inventory, and there's no light on that street, and I would be in support of putting that up.
Yeah, we do keep an inventory because they do fail, occasionally, so we do have an inventory so that he can repair them. He just indicated to me, which was interesting, that he found on a small, kind of off the beaten path street, that they still had the old incandescent lights on that street, that he just replaced those. I mean, one for one, so, but that was missed during the conversion when we did the LED conversion, so. So I'm sure there are probably cases where streets were missed or looked at differently 30 years ago than they're looked at now, so. But there hasn't been that many over the years, so really a formal procedure hadn't been established for it, and it's something we can look at if they're gonna start coming out more often, so.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
the only thing gives me pause, I'm fine giving them a streetlight, but we're setting a precedent that if someone asks for a streetlight, we're gonna give them a streetlight, so.
That's not true, Sean. There have been, and since they did that
Well, why are we saying yes to
conversion,
this
there
one?
have been other requests that have come before the town. I'm just saying, it's not very often, but we have, in the years I've been here, after we did that, we did have people that would come up. But it's not very often. That's why I'm saying this is,
It might be more often tomorrow, starting
well, I
tomorrow.
mean,
Great.
I'm just
I
saying,
don't know. I mean, my motion is to.
I understand.
To put the street light on.
and my
Spring Street.
comment is that we're setting a precedent here, that if someone asks for a streetlight, that we're gonna give them a streetlight, they said it's dark.
Well,
Well, I was
that's
gonna
not
say, I don't
completely
know.
true though, because.
I don't know how it came at, like, what was the
All I have is
does-
they indicated the stretch of road is very dark at night. Which
But-
I don't
So
doubt.
like,
They're-
do abutting.
Long-term
people
employees
want
on,
this?
long-time taxpayers on that street, and they have a concern. I know I went up, I looked at it at nighttime, and it is a very dark street. They're elderly people, you
So
know.
I guess that's my question, like, did everyone on the street, like, petition?
Well,
Like, I have one outside of my window that would prefer not be there, so before we start putting them off.
as far
not
as
because
I
one
know,
person asked for it.
the people who live on that street all get along well, and I don't think there's any objection. There's a motion, and it's either gonna, if there's a, I don't know
I
if there's a
seconded it,
second.
yeah. But I think in all fairness, just because someone submitted a request for a light doesn't mean they're gonna get it. It just means that we'll discuss it, and if the board or the local officials don't believe it's necessary, or, but I think where this street does not have a street light on it, that seems odd. Even Gabby Lane, up off of Wilson Street is tiny, and that has one street light on the corner, so I would think if there's new poles there, or newer poles, then maybe a light was there, but it wasn't put back, so I don't know if we can look at that, and if that's the case, because that happened at the end of Wilson Street. When they replaced one of the poles, the light, next to Route 70 was not put back up, and then, someone brought it forth, and then it was determined that there was a light there that hadn't been put back, so then it was replaced, so I think if it's, at the very least, we could look into that if that's what the board elect, chooses to do, but I think if there's no light on there, whether one neighbor wants it and one neighbor doesn't,
Yeah, I'm just suggesting a little bit more formalized process before we just say one person asked for it, or there's,
Right, we didn't even have a letter in the package. All I have is just a blurb.
Right.
No,
I mean,
there was a resident on that street that approached the office, the select board office, so that's what we.
So
picked
one
up.
resident requested the light.
Right.
Well, Madam
In
Chairman, I
my,
would
yeah,
call
I'll just say
I
one
would
last
call
thing.
for a vote.
My, in my brief Googling of municipal streetlight, it is kind of simple, like request it, have the police take a look. Is it for safety? Is it for aesthetics? So we could certainly vote, but for me, I would like a little bit more. I don't want to like add red tape to a lot of red tape, but I think to Sean's point, if you just say, one person asked, we gave them a street light, the end feels a little bit irresponsible. So we can vote. Mary, would you like to start?
I vote aye.
Matt Kobus, aye.
Julie Pruce, nay.
Sean Kerrigan, aye.
Bill Conley, aye.
All right. Committee reports? Okay. No committee reports, community announcements? Doesn't look like there's anything.
Just one, Madam Chair, that was brought to my attention, just the community basketball fundraiser game that Mr. Engano puts on. So that'll be held on March 11th, beginning at 6 a.m., where they have different organizations play each other for charity and raise
AM or PM?
money for a mentoring program.
AM, PM?
PM,
Okay.
yep, 6 PM. And then it runs through the evening with 4 games, 4 different games. Yeah.
Okay. We will now be moving to, we'll be leaving open session and going to a closed executive session pursuant to Mass General Law C-30A, Section 21A, Purpose 2, to conduct collective bargaining session for the Clinton Fire Union. We will not be returning to open session. We will roll call to enter executive session. Mary?
Mary J. Goddard.
Matt Kobus, aye.
Julie Pruce, aye.
Sean Kerrigan, aye.
Bill Conley, aye.